Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Ashley and I am an infinite multi-dimensional being. What does this mean exactly? Well, I'm on the path to enlightenment and I know for a fact that I am a soul. I'm not this physical body. I am a higher dimensional entity relaying a message to you through this physical body. Today I wanted to talk about spirituality and what it means to me and what it could mean to you. So a lot of people, especially within my age group, aren't very spiritual in the sense that they're not questioning, do I have a higher purpose? Why am I here? The deeper questions a lot of people don't ask. When you realize that you are a soul having a human experience, it makes all the difference. It really does. So I wanted to touch base on a couple things that have happened in my spiritual journey to help anyone else who may be going through this process as well. So I believe that most people, when it comes to enlightenment, you will go through a phase of your life called the dark night of the soul. Is when you start using and tapping into these abilities, these psychic abilities, these abilities that come with opening the third eye. Some aren't really ready for. So what would happen to me is when I first started opening my third eye, especially as a child, I was always very psychic, very intuitive, and I would see spirits in my space. I could physically see shadow people in my space. I would feel anxiety, I would feel fear. And it's important to remember that if you're going through this yourself, that they feed on fear. Exactly what you can do when they come around you is to just not feed into it, not tap into it. I recently moved into my basement and the space is completely different than what I was living in before. I really felt like there was other entities down here with me. And what really worked for me to clear my space is I would sage and I would do a cleansing chant, which I will put on the screen right here so you guys can try it out for yourself. So what I pretty much would do is I would go through each room in my space, and every single corner, every single doorway, every single spot, I would just repeat this cleansing chant over and over again, and I would just take my space back. And another thing I would do is I would light a candle during this, and I would tell the spirits that are in my space, follow the light, go to the light. If there's any spirits here that are stuck in this realm, find the light and pass over. And after doing this, I definitely felt a change. My space, the energy in here feels so much lighter. Definitely feel like my ritual worked. So that's one of the things that happens when you first start opening your third eye. You might start experiencing entities, and like I said, they feed off fear. And when you're not familiar with something, initially your reaction is going to be like,
oh my god, like, did I just see that? Is my mind playing tricks on me?
And a lot of people also report seeing like reptilian creatures. I myself have not, but a lot of people do experience that because they are tapping into higher dimensions and they're able to see these other entities that coexist in the same space with us. In the dark night of the soul, I was, for a period of months, I was really depressed. I really felt no will to live. And I used to work at Target, which is kind of funny. When I used to work there, I remember specifically, there was one day I was at work and I was just organizing clothes, going on with my normal day, and something kept telling me. And when I say something, because I know it's not in my nature to think like this, I just kept thinking,
how can I die peacefully? How can I leave in a peaceful way? Like, how can I die? I want to die.
I immediately, like, it was like a battle inside of my head almost. It's like someone else is telling me these things. How can I die peacefully? Like, I'm naturally a very free-spirited, optimistic, really positive person. And for those thoughts to enter my head, it just felt so foreign. It wasn't me. A couple months prior to that, I actually had an experience where I was in the astral realm. I had never astral traveled before. I was familiar with it. I had done research for a few months, but there was one night I listened to an audio on YouTube to astral travel, and it worked. The thing is, when I had this experience, I just remember I was in a place where everything around me was white. So like I could see floors and I could see walls around me, but everything was just pure white. I remember there was an entity that approached me, and I knew for certain I was in the astral realm. I was not lucid dreaming. I was not just regular dreaming. I was really here. I just remember seeing this entity sitting before me and trying to speak to me. I couldn't understand it, and I'm pretty sure it was speaking Latin. I started to feel uneasy. I started looking, it was a girl speaking to me, and the girl had an upside down cross on her forehead. I just remember feeling fear. I remember feeling absolutely paralyzed with fear, and in that instance, like, I don't know how I snapped out of it or what I did. I just remember I just left the astral realm, and I believe when I came back, that entity had attached itself to me. The months following that is when I started to hear like these voices telling me like all this fucked up shit. I was in such a dark place, and that's the point of me making this video, because I think it's important for people who are pursuing a spiritual lifestyle. It's important to know it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Yes, enlightenment is a beautiful thing. Following a spiritual journey is a beautiful thing in itself. But it's important to remember, like I said, it's not all going to be positive. We have to heal inner wounds, inner traumas that we've carried with us for lifetimes. And when you go through this process, it's not going to be easy. And I'm not done with my spiritual journey either. That's important to remember too. The reason I come forward with all these stories and all this information is because I want to help other people through their process. Trust the process. A lot of fucked up things do happen in this world. There is a lot of darkness that coexists amongst the light. Even though we go through dark stages of our life, that it's all for a higher purpose. Had I not gone through all this scary stuff, seeing shadow people in my room and experiencing these I believe to be demonic entities latching onto me and trying to take my light away from me, I would not be where I am right now. And I think that's one of the most important things that keeps me going. Despite all the fucked up things that may have happened to me, I am not a victim of any of it. A lot of times it's easier to put ourselves in that victim mindset, in that victim complex, than to take actual accountability for the things that are happening to us because of us. If you're surrounding yourself around negative people, then you are going to find your energy drained. A lot of times people just don't want to accept the fact that the reason your life is the way it is because of you, because of decisions that you have made up till now. Going forward, I think it's so important, if anybody watching this is going through a spiritual journey such as myself, to meditate. I was watching a documentary about this actually, and it was saying how in our daily lives we go through a routine. A lot of people work a 9-to-5 job. They go to school consistently and do the same habits every single day. They talk to the same people every day. They're around the same environment every day, and they don't change anything. You start to allow your external factors to affect you. I do the same thing every day. So the most exciting thing was while I was driving to work, someone cut me off, and now I'm blowing up steam. I'm mad. I'm cursing them out. I have road rage now, and I'm letting it ruin my whole day. That's why it's so important to meditate. For example, before you even leave your house for the day, it could be 30 minutes. A lot of people think 30 minutes to meditate, that's a long time. Once you start getting into the flow of the practice, you start to understand how when you are at peace internally, you do not allow external factors to affect you or your well-being. If I'm constantly allowing any small thing to trigger me and ruin my whole day, I'm just gonna be miserable. For those of you who don't know, I am an empath. An empath is someone who feels empathy deeply for other people. I'm in a crowded room full of people. I pick up on energies. I can feel the unspoken emotions of other people. I always found it to be overwhelming to be around a lot of people because I feel everything. I feel other people's emotions as my own. In this process of enlightenment, you have to know your own worth. You have to know the power of your energy. You are a powerful person. You are a powerful soul. When you become hyper aware of yourself, it's kind of like, why am I going to continue to put myself in a position to be taken advantage of, in a position where I'm around negative energies time and time again? Really have to be selective with the type of people you keep around you. It's easier said than done, especially being an empath. We are so empathetic. We're always feeling for the bad guy. I've always wanted to overcompensate my love where someone else isn't loving themselves. You're constantly not only trying to balance the love you have for yourself, but for another person, it gets draining because some people are very set in their ways and they will not change. One tip I want to give my fellow empaths watching this video is, if you ever feel overwhelmed in a social situation, meditate before you go out. Sometimes you just have to be at peace with yourself before you put yourself out into these situations. If I find myself being around negative people, for instance, I will just start to close my eyes and envision a glowing gold or silver light around me for protection. Or you could also visualize yourself having a shield in front of you. It makes all the difference. The mind actually can't differentiate what is actually happening now versus what you're imagining. And that's why the law of attraction, one of the most important steps, is visualization. I am then able to manifest an energetic barrier between me and these negative people that I am inevitably going to have to interact with. With that being said, that's what I'm going to leave this video on. I really hope this helped some of you guys out. For a long time, I've been wanting to pursue a YouTube channel because I am a very spiritual person and I've gone through a lot of darkness to get to this point. And I think it's important for everyone to remember that light cannot exist without dark. And if you've had a lot of fucked up shit happen to you in this life, well, so has everyone else. But how are you changing your life because of it? Are you a victim or are you the creator? I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I want to thank everyone who came to check out this video. I know I kind of just rambled on about different topics. If there's anything you guys have questions about, I would be more than happy to respond to them in the comments below. And if there's any other topics you would like me to get more in depth on, also let me know. Thank you. Namaste.